Okay, wake up. It's the first of the month. Week 27, outlook number 2. Let's start with British pound futures. All right, so what we ended up getting was the run on the liquidity point as analyzed, as expected. And then effectively, we got another run on that liquidity point. So effectively, we're just making multiple liquidity draws. So it's very interesting to see what's happening here, but I do know for a fact, based on this price action, that there is a ton of liquidity that is being purged, balanced, liquidated, whatever you want to call it, in this specific area. Now, this action mitigation here is irrelevant to me as far as looking for entries based off of this, as we detailed in the last outlook. But as far as looking for the action for structural, for setting structure, what we're seeing is we're having multiple liquidity draws of multiple highs at a time. So what we're looking for now, or what I'm looking for now, is the transition of structure from bullish to bearish. And if it is going to happen here, then I would expect it over the next 2 candles to begin showing that, or we're going to be looking for a consolidation. That is the first 2 scenarios. The second scenario is what I detailed out in the last outlook, is that we would be moving towards this high. And if we run to this high, we'll then be looking to see if the action is a break of structure or a liquidity draw. If it's a break of structure, I have no doubts that we will be looking to move a lot higher, specifically aiming for this liquidity point here and then possibly even higher. But as of right now, I'm still convinced that we are in the phase of a bearish run. And so any pullback right now to me is to activate more bearish liquidity in order to send price lower. And so in the immediate, we are seeing a liquidity draw, and then a liquidity draw again, effectively of this high, and then now we have this high right here. So I should be looking for price to roll over and begin the bearish price action, aiming towards the previous low here, and ultimately this liquidity point here. And then obviously we're looking for these 2 previous structural points to be mitigated. So that's what I'm seeing right here on GU or 6B. All right, for gold, what we ended up doing, what I expected, was we pulled back and ran these equal highs right here. And in doing so, we also mitigated this price gap, or this area of interest. Ooh, keep doing that. But this area of interest here, existing from, or this area of interest. And so we've mitigated 100%, and now we are showing bearish price action moving forward. So we did get basically a liquidity draw, but also we did get mitigation of a previous price gap following an action of mitigation here. So the response from this is very valid to me, and I definitely see this moving lower, especially immediately to take out this low. So that's what we're looking at. If you're trading gold, if you caught that, cool. Yeah. Moving on to the NASDAQ, we finally reached the ultimate target, and we're actually getting a very, very, very good response. So to me right now, to level set, this entire price leg, or this price action, like I said before, it's very consolidated. This is our structural point, and all we did was shift the structural point to begin with from this low to this low here. Now, what's interesting about this is actually very reminiscent of previous price action, and I'm going to implore you to go back and look to when I was looking at price action in this area. When I was seeing exactly this, like this is damn near exactly the same, where we had a structural point here that created a high, and then we ran that low there, creating another structural point, and then we have similar price action where we had relatively equal highs created as we were looking to attack higher, and then ultimately ended up failing, and we rolled over and gave the bearish run for here before we had this very massive impulse. And effectively, we're getting that exact same or very similar rhyming price action where we have the structural point here, we have the high, we pull back, resetting or shifting the structural point based off a liquidity draw. Then we have the failure to take out the high. We're generating effectively equal highs here, bearish price action forming, it's sustaining effectively. All of this is happening, and now we're getting the complete balance of this overall price leg, or really of this area. And this was the very last point in which price could balance this area. And so to me, now this move right here is the real move that's going to happen. There's nothing left to balance on the discount side or the premium side of this area. And that's why I was looking for price to respond from this exact area, which was also which follows the reasoning of the action and mitigation, saying that, hey, this is the origin of the move, this is the origin of the entry, this is exactly what's playing out right now. And so I'm expecting this to be a very low effort, high volume, high acceleration liquidity run as we start moving towards these lows, this low immediately, but ultimately the structural point here, because there's nothing left unbalanced. There's no area of interest. There's nothing left for price to absolutely just respond from as far as area of interest. Now, what we could do and what we'll have to look out for are the responses from these lows. But as of right now, this low here is in the premium. So I would be expecting a break of structure at this low to begin with, to solidify that we are going to continue lower. And then if we break this low, then the next low is here. So yeah, so already this is off to a really good start. You're seeing succession of black candles, succession of bearish candles. So this is shaping up to be a pretty solid trade right now. I am in this trade from the area of interest. Not that that's relevant, but obviously this is what I'm looking for, and I'm targeting this low, which is the structural point here. All right. So as far as that goes, then we have the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones, as expected, continuing on with the bullish price action, where we shifted the structural point from here to here. We created a low, high, pullback, mitigation of whatever this is, and then we ultimately ended up, I believe, oh yeah, we did. We ended up running all-time highs again. So we've now created another price leg, effectively from this low here all the way up to this high here. And so what we should be looking for is a pullback. But honestly, I don't think, I mean, immediately looking at this price action, this is completely balanced. This is efficient. There's no imbalance inside of this run. So either if this is a liquidity draw, yeah, this is going to be very interesting, because this is a liquidity draw. I would like to see this start showing bearish intent, bearish price action to move lower, effectively towards this structural point and immediately towards this low here. So that's what we're seeing here, but let me go ahead and clear all of this because it's not relevant anymore. That's an all-time high. That is a liquidity draw. Okay. So yeah, we have the liquidity draw of the all-time high. This is efficient price action as we ran to this. So this, again, to me, based off of that logic, that reasoning, this should be a low effort, high volume, high acceleration liquidity run towards these lows. That is what we're seeing. That is the immediate analysis moving forward. All right. Peace.